have called Insight. And I think it's important for you guys to understand why why this is a important technology and why it really does change the way that you will look at endpoint protection products. So Insight is something that puts files in context. We look at about 40 different characteristics of every piece of software. And again, we have a database of about 2 billion files. That's just about every executable file that's out there on the internet today. We look at the age of that file, meaning how long it's been on the internet, the frequency at which it's been downloaded, where it came from, what other files are downloaded with it. And that gives us the ability to create what's called a reputation score. So for example, files that have been on the internet for a long time that were uploaded by a known and trusted company, say it was uploaded by Microsoft, for example, or if it came from the US. If it's been used by lots of different people, if we haven't seen any malware that's been born from that file, we give it a high score. If we see a file on the internet that you're trying to download that's only been on the internet for a short period of time, that was uploaded from a less than reputable country, where in addition to that one file being downloaded, it downloaded other types of known malware, we'll give that file a low reputation score. And then we'll probably block it depending on the policy setting. Using the reputation, we're able to actually create a system that delivers a higher level of performance and a higher level of efficacy. And this type of technology is actually what protected our enterprise customers from something called the Stuxnet virus, which I don't necessarily need to go into, but this was a very nasty piece of targeted malware that infected a lot of sensitive manufacturing machines. But nonetheless, this was an unknown threat, so no one had ever seen it before, and we blocked it. So our technology proved to work in this case. So why is Insight needed? Well, I've talked a lot about why we need to do more than just AV, but let's talk a little bit more about what that really means. So here on this graph, you can see a red and a green. So the green side, you see something called whitelisting. Whitelisting means that we can create a list of known good files. Good files are applications that are created by trusted vendors. So you can see we've got a lot of Microsoft icons there. We've got the Firefox icon, Adobe, QuickTime. These are vendors that we know and trust who produce software within a secure process. So when we see an application or a document for one of these applications, we tend to say, hey, this is a good file. Now there are lots of bad files that are out there. This is malware and viruses for which we have a signature, or we understand its behavior, we know the name, we know the variants. We can actually block this using something called a blacklist. Now these are technologies that are in use today, and they work reasonably well. But because we know that hackers today can create tens and thousands of new pieces of malware with relative ease, you need a technique that's going to work faster than just a static whitelist or a static blacklist, that really looks at things in a zero-day context, that really can look at, provide a level of protection for the future, not just for today. So I'm now showing you kind of the overview of how Insight works. So a lot of you understand what antivirus is. It's a technology that uses signatures. You download what's called a DAT file, say from your vendor, where they send you a bunch of signature updates. Your endpoint loads that into its system. When it sees a piece of software being downloaded, it matches that software, that name of that file, against its database. And if the signature matches, it blocks. When new viruses are released and vendors create signatures, those signatures are downloaded and you have additional protection. We don't believe that's a technology that's good enough for what needs to be blocked on the internet today. So we've developed Insight, and here's how it works. We take the data from our 175 million PCs for our global intelligence network. We leverage that against our 2.5 billion file database. We take the file that you're trying to download and look at, and we match it against our reputation database and determine the score. And we look for associations, prevalence, age, source, behavior, chances are we've seen the file before, which gives us a really fast way to turn around a decision. So we scan it, we check it out, we get information from our database, and we download that to the client, and we allow the client, based upon its policy, to make an actionable security decision. This technology leverages the cloud. It leverages the common wisdom that we get by having such a large global intelligence network. It saves time in having to scan and match and compare every single file on your PC, and allows us to leverage the experiences of other people on the internet to provide an individual with a higher level of security. Now, I do want to talk really quickly about what we call defense in depth. This might be more technical information than some of you are comfortable with, but again, this provides the whole picture of why antivirus is simply not enough, why you need a product that has a broad set of security technologies, and why you really need something that has a technology like Insight, where in reality, Symantec's the only vendor that has this reputation technology. So what you can see here is a diagram that shows 4 defense levels: network, file, reputation, behavioral. And these are all of the defensive layers. Imagine a battlefield where you had troops stationed at every point, from the front line of the battle all the way to the back. Well, that network area is the front line. That's where we use technologies like browser protection and intrusion prevention, where when a piece of malware or virus comes in, it hits our defensive line, and we block it or analyze it with these technologies. The next level of defense is called file-based protection. This is where we look for and eradicate malware that's already taken up residence on a system. So it's been downloaded, it's tried to inject itself into the system. We use technologies like antivirus, something called auto protect, something called malhure, which is heuristics technology. This is where we use our market-leading AV capabilities to remediate and block something. The next layer of defense, this is Insight. This is reputation-based protection. So we establish information about entities and to be able to use for security decisions. So this is where we use technologies like Insight, domain reputation, file reputation technologies. These capabilities provide that higher level of security that other vendors cannot provide using the wisdom of the cloud. The last line of defense, this is sonar. This is behavioral-based protection. So we actually take the piece of malware, we open it up in kind of a secure way to see what it's going to try and do, and we look at those behaviors that it wants to do and make a security decision. So if we open up a piece of malware and it simply says, I want to open Microsoft Word and allow someone to edit a document, we believe that's trustworthy. And we don't see anything else. But if we open up a file in our secure area and it starts trying to grab a lot of system information and privileges it should not have, that's probably malware, and we'll block it. So this is where this is why we believe you need a layered approach. You need a more mature product that offers more than AV, and we say that you really need something that offers reputation-based and behavioral-based security. So if we look at what's available in terms of these technologies and capabilities in the Symantec Endpoint Protection Small Business Edition version 12.1, we offer intrusion prevention, desktop firewall, anti-spyware, antivirus. All of these come with the Insight and sonar capabilities that are in the product, and together we offer a higher level of performance and a higher level of protection than our competitors can offer you today. And for us, the most important thing is you want an endpoint protection technology that doesn't impact the experience that your users have on their PCs. The last thing you want is a piece of software that users feel is slow, that prevents them from browsing or downloading or opening the internet and gives them a bad experience. They will reject that software and not want to be secure. So we've developed in this product this high-level performance and high-level performance and protection, which we know gives our customers a great experience. So what do we deliver with this product? So we've done independent third-party testing. which with common things like scan time, setup time, browsing speed when doing a scan, opening Word documents, opening common applications. These are all common actions that your users probably use. Imagine someone on a public use machine who's trying to create a Word document and browse the internet. You want that person to have a great experience. You don't want them to be thinking, man, this machine is slow because it's running a scan. We've kept that in mind, and our product delivers that great experience. We have something called smarter scans, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, but that allows us to deliver that fast scan time. Your users really won't know the product's there. It's effective. We've got unmatched accuracy, so meaning when we tested our product with third parties and they threw at our product and all our competitors a sample of known malware and viruses, we blocked a higher number of those viruses. We stop new threats before they can reach your PC. We eliminate a ton of risk from your environments. And the Small Business Edition allows you to deploy it in 20 minutes. It's a single management console. It offers things like setup wizards and management wizards and policy wizards. And for those of you who are not really technical, this product is for you. It allows you to create an effective policy, allows you to monitor and manage, and simply deploy the agent to PCs. Now, one thing I do want to highlight is this faster scan. How can we deliver these faster scan times? Well, here's the secret sauce. Traditional scanning, and this is what our competitors use today. When you click scan, the security product is going to scan every single file on your computer. Okay? And there are thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of files in your computer. Scanning them takes a long time. Doesn't really matter how fast your processor is. Doesn't necessarily matter how much memory you allocate towards it. It's still going to take a considerable amount of time to scan all those files. With our Insight technology, we can scan the endpoint. We take all the file names that are on there. We match all of them against our reputation database. We mark the ones that we know are good and trusted as being good and trusted. And then we focus our scans only on those files that we don't know anything about or are untrusted. By doing that, we can actually skip about 70% of active applications, giving you a faster scan time and a better experience. Now you might ask, well, what happens if I change a file that's already marked as good? Does Symantec know that it's been changed? Yes, it does. We create something what's called a hash. Hash is a mathematical way of creating a unique identifier for that file. If the data in that file changes, the hash will be different. We will know, and we'll simply check the file against our reputation database again, and it will mark it as good or trusted or not good or untrusted, and we'll either add it or subtract it to the scanning list. That's how we can deliver this great experience, and we think this is really important. We want our customers to trust and want to use the product. So in terms of what can Insight block and stop, so it stops those stealth installs and drive-by downloads. How many of you have seen things like fake antivirus? Fake antivirus is an amazing phenomenon where you've got hackers who are creating AV products that look real, that look like they're coming, say, from a Microsoft or that they're part of Windows. They actually have websites where you can buy them. They actually have tech support lines where you can call in to get support for them. But what they're doing when they show you, hey, we're scanning your PC, they're really installing malware and stealing information. We can provide an unmatched effectiveness against mutating malware, so we're not going to be fooled by tactics and attack kits that allow people to create mutations of the same piece of malware. We're going to block it every single time. And we're going to monitor applications in real time as they execute, basically giving you the ability to prevent malware from embedding itself in your PC. So before I get into the next section, Kyla, do you have any questions?
Sure thing. We actually don't have very many from the audience, but I did want to ask, did the updates to the endpoint products make them easier for someone at an NPO or library to administer? And when would an organization want to make the jump from something like Norton to something like an endpoint product?
So let me answer the second question first? When does an organization like a library or an MPO want to make the jump from a consumer product to a business product? I think typically when it becomes unruly to manage, and that could mean different things for everybody. One of the most common situations is the time it takes to go to every single machine that you have and install the consumer product.